taking over, that's a promise, not a threat.
Uppercut, season off top, you stop breathing.
Yeah, what's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where, as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for this afternoon, Pat Scorpio, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do, man? It's LB, Lauderdale Boss, aka Shutterworth the God, the GOAT artist, you know what I mean? RingGangRadio.com in the building. The world is a op out now. Let's go.
Sir, Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hey yo, what's good, y'all? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio all day. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And then P, you know what I'm gonna ask you, right? So who's banned from the Bodega this week?
All boogeymen are banned from the Bodega. All boogeyman talk is banned from the Bodega.
Yes, sir.
And we do not allow motherfuckers acting like they was on Top Boy to be in the fucking Bodega. Nah, chill with all that. I was a fucking 14 stone, mate. Oh, you broke? Like, no.
We got the peas, fam. We got the peas, fam. I'll allow it.
Hey, son. Oh, we also have some of the judges, too. Some of these judges aren't allowed in the Bodega because some of these motherfuckers clearly were fucking playing connect the dots or coloring or some shit last night instead of judging the fight. You know, they need to be added to the Bodega list.
Yeah, I mean, we allow 12 in the Bodega, but not fucking judges. Nah.
Yes.
We throw the book at the judges in the Bodega, not the other way around.
Exactly. That's real talk, man. And then, Pilot, you're supposed to join us, depending on not, because he's clearly awake. So Pilot,
if you hear this, get your ass over here.
Right. Exactly.
He's too jet lagged right now.
Turbulence.
Imagine just listening to a podcast and then the people on the podcast, like the host is telling you to like what the fuck you doing? Like, jump on.
He's delayed flight.
I hope he doesn't have any THC in his coffee, because then we'll know why. That's a silly dude though. But that's Pilot though. But yeah,
shout out to Pilot.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, we definitely have a lot to, we definitely have some stuff to discuss. I think obviously the big talk of this weekend was what went down with
mental health. Oh, the other big talk. My bad.
Yes, mental health. And the aftermath that occurred after the fight between Usyk and Joshua, the rematch. But before we get into that, there was an interesting co-main on the card, a co-main that we've talked about before, with Filip Hrgović and Zhilei Zhang. And I might have mispronounced his first name, but it is what it is, man. Now we all were disgusted when the IBF had was trying to get an eliminator, see who's gonna be the next Mando for then either Usyk or Joshua.
So hold on, you never played Duck Goose when you was in school? I mean, that's all we was watching, Duck Goose.
Yeah, and the only person that actually did, that actually was willing was Tony Yoka, and that's the reason why he's not getting shit for this. But unfortunately, he signed some other contract to face Takam, which subsequently he lost that fight and a 0. Boxing works in mysterious ways. The boxing gods work in mysterious ways. And he shouldn't. And like I said, but he was willing to face him for that spot, and we all respected it. But then unfortunately they went down the list, like, your Ortiz's, your Kalnakis. There was a whole bunch of motherfuckers that were just like, nah, bro, I just can't be bothered. Like, the fuck is a Hrgović, man? Why is his last name start with an H?
I didn't see so many top contenders disappear since the damn middleweight rankings in 2014, 2015.
Right? there were some that were understandable. Like, I know Joe Joyce, his was more understandable because I think he had something lined up. But there were fighters who didn't have nothing lined up, like a Parker didn't have nothing lined up, or like Sanchez.
Yeah, Joyce had that lined up.
Yeah, like Joyce.
Oh, give me a break. I'm tired of this shit. Stop calling guys boogeymen just because nobody wants to fight a no name for little fucking money.
But look, why can't both be true? Why can't he be ducked? Because he was legit ducked. Like, but why can't he just not be as good as we thought he was? Like, both could be true. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just the boogeyman. It's the whole boogeyman talk is all. And anytime I hear it, I just roll my fucking eyes.
But there's certain situations where it's true. Like, I don't know why. Like, niggas get so caught up in this fucking. Y'all say Paul Williams a boogeyman, right?
Yeah, Paul was definitely.
Are y'all gonna retroactively take that back?
I didn't call him. I didn't call him a boogeyman.
But do you get upset when people call him that?
No, I disagree, but yeah, maybe it's because I'm hearing it in real time. Like, this is
So why did you hold on, wait, we gotta address this. Why did you disagree with Paul Williams being the boogeyman?
I mean, because I just don't use that word. Because at the time he wasn't worth anything at the time to get in there with him. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think any of these guys are like really afraid of any of these fighters, but it is what it is.
Man, you've been to a boxing gym before. Motherfuckers, look, one of the biggest myths boxers put out themselves is that boxers aren't afraid of other boxers. That's the biggest pile of horse shit ever.
Yeah.
If you've done any type of contact, fighting, martial arts, boxing, wrestling, whatever, people be legit fucking scared of each other.
Yeah,
there's motherfuckers who would never show up on fucking certain days to spar because they don't want to fight a motherfucker.
Right, and that's the whole thing too. It's like, I mean, even fighters like, they think they'll fight. And like I said, there are very few fighters that will fight everyone, but even every boxer has that one that type of style that they don't want to get in the ring with, regardless of because they know it's going to be a hard night for them. And it happens in all the divisions, and Hrgovic was just one of them because Hrgovic. I know a lot of it's happens because he was a highly touted amateur. He's had sparring fights. He was most famously boxing up Wilder, as an amateur when Wilder was well within his pro career. Like, that's legit.
Yeah, we've seen it. Like, he was putting hands on dude.
Yeah, like in that type of shit. So it's not like so the boogeyman thing for him was justified, and just the fact that all these contenders except for Yoka was the only one that actually wanted to do it.
In the end, it looks bad on everyone because now you're like, well, damn.
Yeah,
we could have did that. We could have stood up to him a little bit, but it's like it takes the guy it takes fucking the Chinese Shrek.
Yeah.
The fucking, the
Chinese
dude,
Shrek.
yeah.
The dude that everybody was expected to have a heart attack and fall over is the one. Shit, I thought he won the fight, to be honest.
And truthfully, I agree too.
I thought he low key got robbed a little, like.
Yeah, and that's the thing because it was a lot of different things. For one thing, is neither of them had ever went 12 rounds in a fight. So you can see.
Fight should have been a draw, to be honest. Like, it almost seemed like neither took advantage when they had the chance.
Well, because
conditioning.
Yeah, the conditioning was just bad because when you have one motherfucker that's like 277, the other one is like 240 something, 250 or whatever, and neither of them have actually gone past. Well, one's gone 10 once, and the other one's only hasn't gone past 8. You get gut checks. But
I feel like it was more on Hrgovic. It was more on him to impress us, though, because even if people calling you the boogeyman, like, this is your chance to show us why. And
yeah, exactly. Like, you gotta justify. Now you gotta.
You didn't look like the boogeyman. You just look like that annoying friend that no one wanted to tag along to at the party.
Right. And the funny things too. He started off well. I mean, Zhang was just eating punches. And Zhang turned out to have a pretty good fucking chin. I honestly didn't think. I thought he'd be cracked. And then I was surprised that a fucking right hook from him was the one that actually put Hrgovic on the canvas. And they try to say it's a push, but no, that motherfucker took one right behind the ear and down he went. Yeah. And Hrgovic didn't even there was no protesting. I'm like, yeah, that was as clear as anything.
He got caught with that shit. It looped at the last part of the trajectory.
Right, exactly. And then after that, it was just like, pretty much the thing. And the fight was low key. It was a brutal fight because they were putting hands on each other. Like, they couldn't get. I mean, Hrgovic has no inside game because every time he was in there, Zhang lit him up with uppercuts. Like,
and with right hooks.
Yeah,
He
and
was beating his
uppercut-
ass at certain points.
Yeah, and there are at least 2 rounds where Hrgovic was saved by the bell because he do that stupid shit where he get caught hard and he start zombie walking or walking.
Yeah, dude honestly has a lot of like I guess it reminded me of the Oliver McCall, like
it was just a lot of, but he was sane doing it. Like that's
what makes it worse, because it almost feel like he was trying to do some parody shit on some disrespectful fake out. Yeah, like I'm not feeling well, but I'm here.
But the
Combination
funny thing too,
punches.
Zhang didn't fall. Zhang was literally lit him up every time he did that. His hands were down. Like what the fuck? Zhang was
But then Zhang should have just fucking. Yeah, honestly, it was a damn theme for the heavyweights that day. Like no one had a second gear.
Well, I mean, one did.
Some of them barely had a first gear.
That's what I'm saying. Like out of the four heavyweights, I saw that yesterday. I didn't see a second gear.
Oh, before we go on, what up, Pilot? I see that you're on.
Oh shit, no.
Yeah, what's good? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm about to say, goddamn, nigga, it's like, where'd you fucking go?
Look what the jet lag dragged in.
Hey.
Motherfucking conscious pilot.
What's happening?
Oh, so now let's get right to it, my nigga. Since you late and shit, motherfucker. What you think about the goddamn
Zhang?
The co-main we saw.
I was shocked it went 12. I mean, I thought for sure it wasn't going past 6 or something, I thought,
yeah.
But it was actually a good fight. I thought it was a pretty good fight.
It kind of dragged on after a while.
It dragged a little bit, yeah. I mean, Zhang hurt him a few times. I thought Zhang won, but I'm not gonna cry a robbery like people are saying it's a complete robbery, because I can see a case where Flip won. But like King P said,
I can't make a case for Flip.
Yeah.
Really? Maybe a draw. But
a draw, yeah. I mean, the second half of the fight, Flip kind of was doing his thing. I don't know.
But he did look better. But he kept getting hurt.
But like King P said, you gotta put that boogeyman shit to rest, because he ain't nobody.
Yeah, the Hrgovic, unfortunately, he lost his boogeyman status, so and it's unfortunate too. But yeah, because you can't do what he did. You can't be pacing back and forth. You can't be, And Zhang
now
is
the
not,
heavyweights just look shook for no reason now, so that's even worse.
And the funny thing is too, is, I mean, you think, because I know we're down about the American heavyweight generation of today, but it seems like some of these cats, like like Hrgovic, it's just like maybe they stay amateur too long and they don't get and then some of the shit ain't ironed out like it used to be, because there was no way he should have fought the way he should have been fighting. Like now, I understand that maybe because. Because he was hitting dude, like it wasn't like he was not. Zhang was there to be hit, but Zhang just happened to has a boulder in his fucking head.
I don't know. I think maybe Hrgovic, he just wasn't all the way there. I know he had lost his father, and he dedicated the fight for him. So it just seemed like he was just. Sometimes he would go through the motions, and then sometimes it looked like he would be right back on point. And
yeah, because I mean,
I don't want to like seeing what I'm going through. I don't want to get at him too hard, because I know exactly what the fuck he's going through. And
and the funny thing is too is
goddamn.
But yeah, because we've watched other fights from him before, and he's typically he fights a lot better than what he fought last night, and we don't know if it's just maybe because he fought a more.
But you can't look like that on your biggest challenge, because
no. Yeah,
I feel like he lost. Like he can only really argue a draw for me. Like I don't think he won 7 rounds. He got hurt too many times. Like if you was to say, a draw, honestly, I feel like we needed a draw and a run back. Like it was just too contested.
Yeah, and truthfully, they need to run his back, because I'm like Hrgovic is because he's displayed better boxing than what he did last night. But I just don't know what it was, because it looked like there were times where dude was like ready to quit, like he either
that's what it was. The whole looked like he just about to give up.
Like he was walking around after getting hit. Yeah, that was kind of.
And Zhang is just like, I'm like, damn. Zhang was able to pull off feints. He worked the body. He's the one who should have been the boogeyman, but wasn't.
But and the reason why is because Zhang had that one draw that he had his record was so bad because they said on the broadcast like that fight he only had like one glass of water in like 5 weeks or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And that's why his whole shit was shutting down, and that's why he nearly got KO'd in that fight.
Okay, hold on. I had to just add this. You see, you fucking racist ass motherfuckers, when y'all thinking when people don't drink water, it's like some hood rat shit. No. you got like unhealthy motherfuckers all over the goddamn planet. Like, think about that. Mm-hmm. Ain't drink water in like 5 weeks. Like, he just had one glass of water in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like
who's like? I mean, because either one thing. Either you have kidney disease, or you're taking a diuretic of some sort. But then he's a fucking heavyweight. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. Or just simply you need a nutritionist in your camp. But there should be no reason why a professional athlete should not be drinking water. Like that's the most silly shit I've ever heard. Like, someone needs to be fired over that. Like, dude almost died in the ring.
Nah, like, honestly, shit like that, you can't fire people over. Like, that's common fucking sense, nigga. Like, no one should be like you can't, like, that's like on some, if you don't look both ways before you cross the street type of shit.
Right.
If somebody just sped around the corner all of a sudden, yeah, that's one thing. But if legit car was coming in and you just walked out there, also you didn't notice it, then damn.
Yeah, and you know what? You're right though. But I just feel like someone should have been like, wait a minute. Like, I mean, a doctor, like, because I know you got to pass physicals and shit.
No, you're right in the sense that, like, look, man, this dude's the money bag. Like, back in the day, niggas protected the money. Like, you didn't. Somebody would have got him some fucking Zephyr Hills or fucking Fiji water or some shit. Yeah,
Fiji mountain water, nigga.
Yeah, like, he wouldn't have gotten to this point. But nowadays, motherfuckers don't care if they lose the money, guy. Like, it used to be like, all right, man, look, you take the charge, look, you take this gun charge, you take this drug charge, whatever, we hold you down outside, da-da-da-da-da. Like, you do this, you make sure he's there at the concert, you make sure he's there to fight. People don't care now. It's like, yeah, I gave him the water, he know he supposed to drink it, shit.
And I just took a quick look at his box rec, because for that fight, that Forrest fight, he weighed 256, and for his Hercules fight, he was 277. So part of me is thinking maybe that drinking water shit there may be some truth to that, but I think dude took something to cut, and he didn't rehydrate the way he needed to.
Now, because some people tell you, I've had even a trainer tell me, like, I drink too much water, like, but then it's like it gets to a point where then you're not sweating enough, or you're not putting the right amount of proteins in your body, because you always want to drink water. You can never drink too much water.
Right, exactly.
So then that's when it's a nutrition thing, and I can't compare me at 19 boxing for the first time at a gym, going through that, to a motherfucker who's his age with resources and promoters and you know what I mean,
water is everywhere. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a little common sense. Yeah,
and that's why I'm just like that's like this shit was just was like just weird. But like I said, I mean, he seemed to have recovered. Like I said, he fought a good fight. I mean, I know part of things,
best he ever looked.
Yeah, like when he got to the later rounds, I know the ring was like all slippery and shit. And honestly, I thought Zhang, because nigga almost did a full split in the middle of the ring because that shit was so slippery. Yeah, honestly, because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, because funny thing is, I thought Hrgovic like touched him a little bit, and then this motherfucker just like fainted. But then after that, but then there's the ring slippery, because I was like,
nah, he was about to do the Johnny Cage move, nigga. You see that?
Yo, yeah, it was. I think it was a good thing he fell back in time, because he almost tore something, because he looked like he was about to do that. I was like, God damn, though. But after like the 8th or the 9th round, like these two were laboring. Like Hrgovic was like slapping his shots, although they were landing because you could hear them shits. And then Zhang was only effective when he was on the inside. Like after that.
But his shots always moved Hrgovic, and it's just, I just think he just landed the better punches, his better boxing skills, and
absolutely did. Yeah, you absolutely right. So that's why, because when I tried, I was like, hey, this is like a 114, 113-ish fight, but it depends on who they're gonna go with. Like, I mean, I could see it either way, but there was no other score that was the 115, 112 was horseshit.
Yeah, that was a horrible score.
I mean, I wasn't shocked because Zhang's at 39, Flip's 30, so I mean, it's fucked up, but it is what it is. I wasn't too shocked with the result.
Nah, fuck all that, man.
You gotta put the narratives and all that shit. Look, man, the dude lost. Fuck all that. Like, I hate when people do. That's the whole Mexican style again. No, are we scoring the fight or are we scoring the narrative? Like, if we add the boogeyman narrative, then we're like, okay, the boogeyman just had a rough night. But when you take the boogeyman shit away, it's like, yeah, this guy should have lost. Like, he ain't look good.
Yeah, like it's not. I mean, it's not like Hrgovic has never fought a named fighter before. Like, I mean, dude has Kevin Johnson and Amir Mansour and all that shit on his record. Like, he's fought named fighters. Faded, yes, all that other shit.
But this was his prime, unfaded but still old. This was the guy he was supposed to show us he's the real deal.
Right.
And he kind of didn't. Like, he needs a go-over, like a do-over.
Yeah, like honestly, because he's the Mando now for Usyk, and truthfully, he really shouldn't take that fight. Like, he shouldn't even really. I mean, the IBF is going to do what IBF is going to do, and if Usyk doesn't like it, then the belt goes away, and then Hrgovic faces.
I mean, the way it is now, like, if you get your shot at the champion, look, take the fight. Like, I don't think he's I don't think he's over his head with Usyk. Like, I don't know. I just don't be impressed with Usyk like that with these fights, man. These heavyweight fights. Like, I feel like I'm seeing, like, if Loma would have went to 140 and he just labors against everybody. Like, that's what I feel like I'm watching with Usyk now. But yeah, like, fuck it. Let's get into this shit, man.
But before I go, but from what I saw, like, I can't see Hrgovic bothering Usyk like the way not with what I saw. Like, that wasn't like if you're struggling with Zhang,
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I think he'll tune in a better performance, but am I hyped to see it? Not really, but I wouldn't tell him to not take the fight.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you about not hyped to see it, because, like, in the funny thing, because I was high on Hrgovic, because it's like Hrgovic seemed to be, he seemed to be next, like, but yeah, it's like now he's gonna have to really change my mind, Bo. But yeah, it dragged, but it was a brutal fight. Like, both guys, like, you see them at the end, and, like, fucking Hrgovic had to be carried to his corner, and Zhang was just like on the fucking turnbuckle and shit, just like, looked like he was about to pass out again. Like, shit, like, yeah, heavyweights, man. You just because you're big doesn't mean you don't need the condition. Like, y'all gotta, you can be 6'6", 6'7", but y'all shouldn't be.
To your boy.
That always reminds me of the excuse when Bermain Stavern lost the first time to Wilder. He was like, "Oh, I was dehydrated." You're a fucking heavyweight. Yeah. You don't have to make weight. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. I mean, you see, fucking the Klitschko's never had. I mean, well, Vlad, had the issue, but then Vlad was also coming in way lighter than he probably should have been for his size.
Yeah, we don't have to use Vlad for that example, but we can use Vitaly.
Vitaly never labored, in his fights. He may have gone injured in a fight or whatever, but you never seen, Vitaly's big ass like laboring around. He was like 6'7", 6'8", like 240. Like, bro was in the times that everyone took him 12, he did 12 comfortably. Fucking Valuev did 12 fucking comfortably. He was like 7'2". Yeah. 300 pounds, like,
and these guys aren't having no type of crazy pace for, like, the way they going on about shit. Like,
yeah,
like, did I not see, like, Abeabuchi and Tua?
Yeah, like, yeah, those cats.
And shit, speaking of Abeabuchi, he looked like he could take these motherfuckers 12 rounds now. Yo, I don't know if y'all seen him recently. That video circulating.
Yeah, he's like 235 now. Dude still looks like he could probably beat some heavyweights today. Yeah.
Thank you. Like, I know Chris Bird always said that he wanted that rematch and he was willing to go to prison to do it, but no, you're not.
No, you're not. Yeah.
Nah. I say that as like the real fact.
Yeah, that's also facts too. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, you have like heavyweights today. It's just weird that you have a Tyson Fury who who's 270 pounds, but can dance on his toes, can move around, can have all this activity and not labor. But then you have these motherfuckers.
We babied the heavyweights, yo. We honestly babied the heavyweights. Like, we expect them to just knock everybody out and just average 300 punches for 12 rounds. Also
true. It's just weird to me. It's like they're not just conditioned anymore. Like something is clearly lacking. Like, and never mind, some of the fundamental stuff we always talk about. But I can rant about the heavyweights all day. But I don't want to get into that, until for another time. But yeah, Usyk and Joshua, 2.
Okay, let me sit back. Who's gonna go? Who's gonna start off so I can just sit back and enjoy the botanicals and this whiskey real quick. Who's gonna start off with the jokes and
first of all, I'll commentary? Ain't gonna be no jokes. I'll start off, but ain't gonna be no jokes. I'm just gonna say.
Don't worry, I'll make the jokes for you.
Yeah, you niggas will make jokes. I'm pretty sure of this. So yeah, I mean, obviously, the whole fight, it was charged. You got Joshua and then Usyk. That's coming off the front lines. Usyk didn't even want to take this fight because he wanted to stay and fight for his country and shit like that. But they were like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead, do what you gotta do." And Usyk,
damn right, stop holding up the division. I don't give a fuck about all that other shit.
Yeah, Usyk, he took the fight, and then, obviously when we were waiting for Eddie to tell us who has the fucking TV rights, which of course turned out to be Sky Sports, at least for the UK, which, Sky Sports did something devious, and I'll go into that a little later, and of course it'll probably be after the jokes too. But another thing that Usyk did was he got the TV rights, and then whole of Ukraine got that shit for free. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want them both to see. They don't have to pay if they have the zone. Fuck the zone. Then I got this.
I heard that they gave it to him after he said that's what he wanted. Like, they was like, oh, that's what you want. Oh, well, here's for free then. Like, they didn't even charge him for it.
Yeah, no, they didn't. So, and then you have Joshua who just left Sky and then just signed a lifetime deal with DAZN, not Matchroom, but DAZN itself. So it's like. So now Joshua, I'm pretty sure, has this pressure on it, because now it's like this is a fight that he needed to win to really probably justify the whole lifetime shit. And it basically it was the perfect storm brewing. It was just like the fucking first Ruiz fight, perfect storm brewing, clouds and shit, rumblings in the sky, and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? And then we all see that Usyk looks bigger, and then Joshua looks like he looks a little bit more ripped up. So I was surprised this nigga came in there 4 pounds heavier than he did in the first fight. I was like, how does that even work? Like, I was like,
he was carrying on that chip. He had the weight of the world on his shoulders. That's why.
This nigga right here, yo. Yo, I can't stand you sometimes, LB, yo.
I'm just saying, like, cause look, like when I first seen him, I was like, damn, this nigga Joshua, he looked different. Like, he got the damn the early 90s fade going.
Yeah.
He got this like new tribe throw back, like Arrested Development, Tennessee type.
Back to
like, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Back to
like, yeah. It was just a whole different vibe he had, and I'm like, okay, he mean business.
Yeah, he did mean business. I mean, dude even had a generic jobber entrance too. Like none of that flashy. But then of course that's because of Sky Sports, because Eddie didn't have the rights to do so.
Yeah, but
you think about Jadakiss? He was Jadakiss.
That's what I'm saying, like, dude. He should have had a real top 10 NY rapper.
Yeah. It was just something.
Oh no, he was fucking with y'all. Just the inside joke.
But it's just everything just said, okay, he gained 4 pounds, but he still looked like he was in shape. Usyk looked like he was a beast. You heard the shit that Usyk was biting his sparring partners and everything, and there was even
that's why he couldn't move like that.
And then
body shots.
And then there was a video out there of Usyk, I guess, one shot one of his sparring partners into the ropes and shit like that. And
the one that put both his hands down.
So I don't know. It was Dave Allen, you know. All I know,
him.
and then dude kind of, you know, dude moonwalked and shit, ready to go down, and Usyk had to, like, you know, stop him from actually going down. So I mean, so Usyk was, I mean, because everyone was thinking, like, is Usyk mind on business and shit like that? Because, you know, you can't tell if Usyk, because Usyk, even when he's serious, has what Usyk could be in horror movies. Like, seriously, like, after this shit is done, like, nigga could be the next Pennywise and shit. Nigga. So, like, dude's face is just like, you can't tell what he's thinking. Like, he has a game face out of this world, because he's like, oh damn, this nigga's crazy. Even if he's talking serious, whether he's saying "Dad, time to run" or that type of shit, you know, motherfucker just looks crazy. But yeah, his mind was on business, man. And like I said, when the fight happened, the first couple of rounds, I mean, it looked like, I mean, I will say this too, like, Joshua can't implement new things, because I mean, for the first couple of rounds, he looked good. Like, I mean, as good as he can be for heavyweight, you know, with a Mexican trainer. Like, you know, he was giving Usyk different looks, you know, with the exception of getting hit with that up jab of Usyk's, which Joshua never really adjusted to, except for a brief second where he started using up jab against him. You know, I mean, dude was doing everything. He was hitting him, touching him to the body, which Usyk did not like. You know,
he was doing some shit, but the thing is, first of all, he was listening to the wrong nigga from the Locks. Should have been listening to Sheik, you know.
You mean Styles?
Throw the jab right through the heart, like Cupid. Y'all niggas must be crazy, but you're not stupid. See all that getting faked out by Usyk, looking crazy and shit. Nah, this nigga ain't stupid, man. Walk him down, put the jab to his heart, like Cupid. Shout out to Sheik Luch.
Yeah.
See, I said that nigga was listening to the wrong Locks member. he did some good work, but he still reverted back to the same shit. Standing in front of this motherfucker, not throwing enough punches.
Yeah, he
trying to conserve energy.
Yeah, and try to box with Usyk, which is not a thing. And like I said, and all through, you know, when I was on the Twitter, all I kept on saying was like if you keep doing this, close, Usyk's second gear is gonna kick right in. Like, because Usyk has an elite second gear, and that's what happened.
And that's the thing. It didn't even look like he had a second gear. All he did was kind of just take advantage and just will himself when Joshua got tired or wasn't doing anything, because Usyk looked tired all the way to the final bell. Like, he labored. Like, well, and I think it's the body punches too.
Yeah, the body punches definitely did, because like I said, Usyk does. If there's one that Usyk, yeah, I mean, Usyk was visibly like wincing every now and then. Every single time this nigga landed a hook to his body or one down, like, right in the pit of his stomach. Like,
y'all think that 9th round he was actually hurt or taking it off? In that 9th round,
I think he was hurt a little.
He was hurt, yeah. No, I mean, the 9th round,
Joshua hurt him throughout the fight. It's just, the thing is, the irony is, because there's this motherfucker I know that, like, can't stand Danny Garcia. Like, I don't know why, but he loves this heavyweight that fights like a fucking heavyweight version of him.
Gee, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, me too. I saw him fight last night. He fought like a goddamn heavyweight Danny Garcia.
Yeah, and it was maddening to me, because I kept on saying, because I was like, yo, he's reverting, but don't revert back, because you have to give Usyk different looks. So because if you don't give Usyk different looks, then Usyk is gonna get his rhythm. And sure enough,
it ain't about different looks. It just stick to one thing. It's like if Joshua, like, this is where being one-dimensional helps you. Being one-dimensional in this regard would have just kept the pressure on Usyk, because even Al Jury was like saying, like, yeah, this ain't no real pressure like that. Like, Usyk could kind of survive because what's his name, Joshua wasn't cutting off the ring.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. He was just following him around the ring. I'm like, damn, like, Robert Garcia is like, you couldn't teach.
And then he wanted to explode. Like, you saw what Zhang was doing, how Zhang would kind of lull Herkovic in there sometime, like,
yeah, because he was because Zhang took advantage of the fact that Herkovic thought he was slow, but as soon as he got into his range, you know, motherfucker was a Pence dispenser.
He started just ripping off shots, and the thing is, he kept playing possum and doing that shit, and it kept working the whole fight. Right. He would just explode, boom, boom, and I'm like, how this big Shrek looking nigga look out of shape as hell, heart problems, how come he could explode and just turn it up like that? But Joshua never seemed to could do that. And honestly, that's what Joshua was missing. Anytime he had Usyk on the go, he never could just cover distance real fast and just explode. Like Joshua is like 2 hooks away from knocking everybody out, it seems.
And truthfully,
he just never gets there.
But the thing is, though, Joshua has never been, as one of those things, Joshua has never been an explosive fighter. Like because most of the time, like, he comes in like 240, 250, with the early.
He needs to, and that's the problem. He needs to develop it. Like, it's missing in all of his fights. And Joshua definitely could be explosive. Earlier in his career, he was a lot more explosive than he is.
Well, he was
now.
Also like 228, 229, shit like that. So that's the whole thing.
That's his fucking fault. Look how Zhang was looking.
Yeah, but it was just.
Look, man. Look, if you looking like fucking Adonis and fucking Ken Norton and shit, you looking like Mandingo down and all that shit ripped up. People gonna be like, yeah, I assume he could be a little explosive, at least more explosive than a Andy Ruiz or Zhang.
I mean, it's all. I mean, like I said, because I'm a bit.
Are we gonna tell the truth, or are we just gonna keep making excuses for him?
I'm a big nigga myself. Like, I've been as fucking ripped. I've been ripped, and I've been like, I know.
But you mean to tell me he just can't explode for just 3 seconds and rip off 5-6 punches?
Sometimes people's fast switch don't work like that, and not everyone's.
It needs to work like that though. Like
it doesn't. It doesn't work that way, bro. Like, trust me, I know this. I know. Like,
so hold on. So because your big ass can't do it, his big ass can't do it, but other big people could do it.
It's all genetics, bro. Like no one. Not everyone.
Man, bullshit, nigga.
Nah, nigga, that's not bullshit, my nigga. That's the
That's
truth,
bullshit.
Nigga.
All this goddamn.
No, Mike Tyson said he listened.
18 stone. Man, shut the fuck up.
Nah, nigga, that's the.
That nigga crying over because he can't throw goddamn combinations.
Nah, nigga, you just don't know.
Nah, fuck that shit.
You a little nigga. You don't know about big niggas and their explosiveness, nigga. You don't know this. Nah, nigga, you don't know.
Nah, you just mad because his big ass can't throw combinations.
This ain't in your realm, bro. This is my realm, nigga.
6'6" Danny Garcia.
Nah, nigga, they ain't no explosive.
Nah, 6'6" Danny Garcia.
Nigga, the Clippers weren't explosive, nigga. So it's like
they didn't have to be because they had way more boxing skills.
Well, it doesn't matter though. You never seen them niggas. We're not talking explosiveness and skill ain't the same thing, nigga. That's the whole thing. Like,
but you can use explosiveness as a skill.
It's all genetics. Like, not everyone can be naturally explosive. Ruiz has always been there. Ruiz that's genetics. Like that's how they are.
See, so we look. So we really gonna sit here and say Andy Ruiz has great genetics and that's why he's explosive?
No, there's genetics. People can do it. I didn't say great genetics. I say genetics. You can do it.
Stop, like, dude.
Nah,
dude,
nigga,
stop. You're calling a fucking plumber looking ass Andy Ruiz explosive now.
This is he was explosive. Like he's always been that way. The only thing is he just eats too goddamn much. Like some niggas.
Dude, Joshua is explosive. The thing is, he doesn't know how to be anymore.
He ain't that explosive.
Look, dude.
Like it doesn't matter how it doesn't. You're because you're
because
body
look,
type.
The thing is,
like,
no one's expecting a guy Joshua size to be explosive as fucking Manny Pacquiao. I'm not saying that.
That's you're comparing it to a welterweight, bro. That's not a good example, my nigga. Like,
but that's the thing. Are you even listen? I said I'm not saying he needs to be as explosive as Pacquiao. I'm saying he doesn't have to be explosive like that. I'm just saying he needs to be explosive. He needs to have moments where he could turn it up every 3 or 4 seconds and put maximum destruction on somebody. All this win 1 body shot, 2 body shot, and just look at you with baby seal eyes ain't fucking cutting it.
Okay, I can agree with that. You know, but I'm saying, like,
I've been saying it the whole time. Like no one's expecting Anthony Joshua to throw 800 punches around a fight. No one's expecting him to rip off 8 punch combinations like goddamn Pacquiao and Paul Williams. All I'm saying is this nigga need to do something where he gets mean and can fucking be explosive. How the fuck is a nigga like Zhang is more explosive than him? And other motherfuckers like, no, we not giving him no excuse for that shit.
But I mean, the other thing is that Zhang seems can eat punches for whatever reason. Joshua,
it don't fucking matter. Goddamn, eating punches don't have nothing to do with being explosive.
No, but it's your temperament. Joshua can do that, but Joshua, whenever he gets tagged with some shit, you know, this nigga does the silly dancing shit. Zhang was a whole bunch of shit, and Zhang just kept moving forward.
That's what I'm saying. He needs to set the initiative. Like, why wait that he get hurt till he wants to fucking start marching forward and he want to go to war? Nah, if you did that from the get-go, you wouldn't be worried about trying to recompose yourself after you got hurt.
I mean, either way, he still fought better. Like, it wasn't like the first fight where this nigga was about ready to be dropped. Like, there was no moments where Joshua was getting ready to be dropped in the second fight. So, I mean, either way, but
he still got caught a whole bunch of times, and honestly, it's worse because he had Usyk ready to go at certain times, and it's like, dude, can you just like this whole mentality, him going to the cards, like, bro, can you just sell the fuck out? You already been knocked out before. You already lost a decision before. You get him hurt, fucking run the gauntlet on this nigga. Run them fades up. Nah, let me turn into Klitschko and jab and prod and let me look at Pat Scorpio, see if he's out there and if I'm meeting his approval. No.
Oh, what up, Rusty? I see you in there, yo. And yeah, we're gonna talk about the meltdown.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the meltdown shit in a few. But yeah, like, I mean, after the ninth round, which was Joshua's best round of the fight, I mean, and then Usyk, like I said, that second gear, it did kick in the 10th round because I didn't expect Usyk to fire back after that, and dude fired back hard. And then,
because Joshua invites you to when he doesn't do anything. There was one point where Usyk just fires off like 11 punches because Joshua just stands there like Thomas Domgard in the Gotti fight, just waiting for, like, the dude. Joshua fights behind people too much. I'm telling you, like, and it's crazy how you don't see this, seeing that you observe Danny Garcia so closely. The man is a big ass Danny Garcia.
You just hear me just said that, Usyk. I mean, because we can't ignore what Usyk did. I mean, Usyk, like I said, when I say this, Usyk has a second gear.
Usyk did because he had a heavy bag in front of him.
It's still an elite second gear because this nigga knew he was in trouble.
Anybody can get a fucking second gear when nothing's coming back to him.
Like, I can't just ignore that because that's what I keep on saying. It. Like, Usyk has a second gear. He absolutely has it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, everybody does when niggas stop fighting them.
The only difference is either the fighters get their asses whooped or they fight back like Bredas did. It's either one or the other, or he tire him out like Chisora did. But I'm not gonna get to that whole other shit because that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah,
because Chisora put real pressure on Usyk. That's why Joshua doesn't put real pressure on you.
Right?
I agree. He'll tire out because if he does, he'll tire out. He couldn't put real pressure on him. He was conserving himself a lot.
But the problem is
that's the problem. He needs to pick a fucking battle. Because look, if he would have put real pressure on Usyk would have tired out too. And then you got two tired motherfuckers. And hey, let's see who's the more powerful, aggressive person when we're both tired. But the thing is, you're doing this fake pressure shit that's only just making you a big following target for Usyk. And that's what Joshua does. It's like, if you're not gonna punch, not Munguia, who's the other nigga Golden Boy guy? Virgil Ortiz. Mm-hmm. He showed y'all in the McKinnison fight that you don't even have to throw a lot of punches to pressure someone and run them ragged. Because we even complained about it. He was cutting off the ring, and Ortiz was cutting the ring off and everything. But It was not like he was jabbing a lot. Wasn't like he was throwing too many punches. Matter of fact, we all thought he could have did a little more, but he still eventually ran him out and got him done. Joshua doesn't have to fucking march forward like goddamn Golovkin and Chocolatito or Spence pumping 30 jabs at motherfuckers to run them ragged. All he got to do is just get the footwork and step and make Usyk have to turn and over move. And then every now and then you place that body punch, you place that hook to the body when he try to turn out, or you place that jab to kind of keep the distance going. Like, there's other strategic ways. Like, Anthony Joshua can pressure this guy and don't have to go all out where he's going to be winded. But that's not real pressure he was doing.
Yeah, but I guess to sum it up too, and I think Lukey also mentioned this too. Shout out to Lukey Boxing. Joshua has a problem with transitioning defense to offense and an offense to defense. That's the biggest. That's to sum up. That's Joshua's biggest problem. Joshua can follow a game plan to a point, But
because he's not a counterpuncher. At least Danny Garcia could counterpunch.
Right? Yeah. No, Anthony Joshua is definitely not a counterpuncher.
So
After a while, you can't stick to the script with the game plan, though.
Because like I said, because Joshua can create his offense, but the defense part of it is the part he can't go back to it. And Joshua can exhibit some sort of defense, but he has trouble. But then his offense has trouble getting off, and that's the problem. That's Usyk picked that apart both ways. And that was the big problem. And then even in the final rounds when Usyk did tire out too, Usyk just showed a little bit more. That's the problem. And truthfully, and that was the reason. The last 2 or 3 rounds was the reason why Usyk won that fight on the cards. Not like.
And honestly, I felt like he just he got hurt too many times for me to feel like he dominated. Like, fight almost felt like a draw. Like, I could see why Joshua was pissed, but he could only blame himself because he was always like a good combination punch away from really doing damage. Like, it was like Spence Swift fight to me, really.
Like, I mean, because also, we always say to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. And he's been champion on 2 occasions, so he should know that. Like, Usyk. But then it was just one of the scores for the fight. I mean, well, there was a 115-113. No, because it was split decision. So it was, let's see, Usyk. A judge had it 115-113 for Joshua, which I was just like, no. I didn't think it was. Look
at it. I thought Usyk won the first round. I thought he lost the second and the third, and then they started just going kind of back and forth. Joshua not getting credit for hurting Usyk as many times as he did.
Yeah, the thing is, and then the other judges had it 116-112 for Usyk, and then 115-113 for Usyk. So
I could see 115-113, but like 115-112, like nobody dominated like that. The fuck.
It did, and like I said, I mean, Joshua. If you compared both fights, it was a lot better. I mean, the first fight was probably wider, and you could see it because Joshua was ready to go down. This one, he fought to he fought to the belt, and he wasn't like wobbling or doing any chicken dances or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, Joshua lost the split decision. Usyk retained his belts, and then the interesting part began. It's the weird thing because mental health is a big thing in boxing today. And truthfully, as being an old grizzled fan, like mental health in boxing just being it's weird to me. They have like the athletes they have problems like I'm too old school. I'm like, if you have problems, keep that shit internal. If you don't want to fight, don't fight. So it's just weird to me that people are just athletes are just so public about this. In Joshua's case, I think Joshua was not public as much until I think this fight when he had a breaking point. Like fucking Lomachenko was there trying to congratulate him, and he was like, nah, he gives him a pound like, nah, I needed to fight better, like, and he starts cussing up the storm. Then he's holding up the flag, and he's doing like the Islamic like bowing and stuff like that on his knees, all that type of shit like that, holding the flag up. And then this nigga gets the mic. And you got Roadman Femi, you got his true personality, which most people like. And then this is the first time it's in full display because most of the time his handlers used to keep that shit on the low, because he has had incidents. Like the time where he told that nigga like, you're a disgrace to the superior black race, or the time he threatened college kids he'd break their jaws for heckling him or some shit like that. That's who he is in real life, but they kind of poo-pooed that shit away. They couldn't do shit with this. This nigga got on the mic and spit bars. I mean, this was like Dennis Scott on the Orlando Magic all over again. Nigga going to kids camp and talking about his life.
On a rant, yeah, he went on a rant.
Yeah, and then the Orlando Magic had to like let him go, and that basically ended his career. This nigga talked about everything from he's not Rocky Marciano and Bismillah and fucking fight, all the
Sonny Liston and Mike Tyson throwing.
Yeah, and they talk about how he was in jail.
I tell you, that nigga be listening. He be reading nothing but tweets and YouTube comments.
IG, yeah.
You're not fucking 14 stone. Like I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, dude's talking straight out of Top Boy, like all that polished talk, like pop and circumstance. Like, nah, this boy, like he was trying to be like a rude boy or something like that.
That was the first time we actually saw him as him.
Yeah, that was him. And
he's been like that. Remember that one interview niggas was talking about how he was like man, I gotta start going back to being violent and fucking people.
It's like he's like, I don't idolize the athletes. I look up to the big Meaches and the Larry Hoovers. Oh my god! Like
yo, it's funny. Like something came. Like I saw something earlier before the Joshua fight, and when I saw Joshua's dramatic monologue, nervous breakdown, whatever at the end.
Said dramatic monologue.
That's what it came off as. Like that shit was almost scripted. Almost, it was like too perfect.
Well, no, he was freestyling that shit because this nigga.
Yeah, I know, but it just the moment. Like it was so. The moment it was powerful, but it was still cringy as fuck.
Yeah, because this nigga, because he was going back and forth between giving Usyk his props, and then it's like, how could you fucking beat me? You know, that type of shit.
Yeah,
and then Usyk is like, what?
The thing is, when I'm getting at, like, alright, so basically, I saw the Tekken Bloodline anime on Netflix.
I still need to watch that, by the way.
Before the fight, and yes, that shit is every bit as awesome as you think it is.
Yes, sir.
But I'll just leave you. There was one quote in that motherfucker. There was a minor spoiler. I'm just giving you a quote somebody said.
It is what it is, bro.
I think it was Paul Phoenix talking to what's his name, Jin. And dude was giving him a quote that Log told him. And he was saying basically how we carry ourselves in the ring is a reflection how we carry ourselves in life. And I feel like since Joshua's had to repress so much of who he is on the outside of the ring, it's fucking up how he fights on the inside. Almost like in a reverse form of that quote. Like, Joshua repeatedly kind of has to keep telling you he's this type of person, he's this type of person. Kind of like how everybody already accepted Crawford was a street nigga back in the day. Like,
right.
Like we accept, like we kind of just knew, like, yeah, like when other shit came out and him getting shot, this, that, we just let it go. We didn't always question him about it. Maybe it's because it's America and it's more normalized for niggas to get shot. I don't know, but it is what it is. Like,
right.
Broner was the same thing. You know, we accepted, like, yo, he may be a fuck up or he may be doing all types of crazy shit, but he a street dude. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like we know, like, but people just act like sometimes you can't be the class clown and be a street nigga. Like, right. That could be the same person, but still, like, but with Joshua, we always looked at this guy as like, I don't know, they tried to make him into like some type of UK version of the Golden Boy.
Yeah, well, they try to make him like, well, I won't say like Lennox Lewis, because Lex Lewis, even the UK people don't really fuck with Lex Lewis.
I'm talking about the UK version of the Golden Boy, like meaning like he was supposed to be Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and De La Hoya all in one.
Yeah, hugging babies, handshakes, smiles, smiles to the camera.
Kissing babies, shaking hands, yeah.
Joshua's professionalism is so good that he was able to do it and live up to it. So people just kept feeding that and was like, okay, shit, well, since he's able to be respectful and polite and da-da-da-da-da, and okay, yeah, I'm sure he could pull this off. Yeah, keep doing it. And Joshua, he's able to do it, but then it's like after a while, it starts cracking a little bit and you see the waist man, roadie man come out. and it's just, you saw the interview just started coming out even more. Idolize the big Meaches and what the fuck? Like, really? Like,
yeah, and then,
all this shit. And then now, dude comes up with his, like, the infamous Suge Knight or Source Award speech at the end of his fight, I mean, we kind of seen this coming, it's...
Yeah, there was a lot of weird things he was doing. Like, he took Usyk's belts, he held them up and then threw them outside the fucking ring, like two of them, like the ring belt and that shit was like. And then he left the ring. Then he had to be told to be brought back, and that's when he got the mic. He started rambling at the mouth, like
because at that point, if you're gonna make me come back into the ring, if you see I'm pissed off, then we're gonna do it under my terms, and I'm gonna get the mic and I'm gonna talk my shit. So and then, he was right in doing that. Yeah,
and then doing that, the hip hip hooray and that type of stuff like that. Just straight diarrhea of the mouth.
See, and that's the problem. He doesn't talk like how he doesn't fight the way he talk, and that's the biggest thing with Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Repeat, like he doesn't fight the way he talk, like the way his heart is and his emotions. That's what we need to see in him. No one's saying fight angry and be reckless, like nah. But you see how Terrence Crawford manages it. Golovkin manages it.
Fight with a dog. Crawford himself has a second gear too. That's also. And
this is before you get second gears. Look, man, people always used to shit on fucking the god, fucking Felix Trinidad about being one-dimensional. But if you could be a one-dimensional and your one dimension is pure elite level at that fucking ceiling, at that level, then fuck it, that's for you. Make that work. And it's like Joshua. He has so many different things he could be good at and excel at, but he never just takes one path. Like, dude, you're this big, versatile puncher, intimidating guy, athletic. You can move about. He was slipping and trying to move, and move his head and shit. He did it. He was displaying some skills the first 3-4 rounds. But it's like, at some point, you have to have that switch and turn it up and just go all out. Like, you gotta smell blood. Like, honestly, this really could have been a Jacobs Quillen moment.
Yeah. But
and him just being the whole thing with explosiveness is just getting a great first step and dig into them damn body shots when he throws them. He's as powerful as Joshua is, he doesn't dig into some of his shots enough. You see how Lee Wood, when Lee Wood had his opportunity to throw punches at Conlon, he would dig into them shits and back him up.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the thing. Joshua started well with the body work, but I felt like after Usyk found his footing, 4th or 5th round, he just reverted back to the same shit in a sense.
Yeah.
And
he still kept the body work throughout the fight, but like you could tell the whole hesitation, the let me fight behind you.
He wasn't going up top. I mean, he wasn't. I don't know. He's a power puncher, but I don't know.
Yeah,
a power puncher that don't throw punches.
Yeah. So I think because he's so used to because he hits so hard, one punch he can get someone out there with one punch. He
got a whole fucking year to train for this nigga.
Right, he did. He absolutely did. So, and then especially with the new trainer too. So it's just you would thought that Robert Garcia would have made his offense a little bit more creative, but
it's Joshua. Joshua offense always been creative. It's Joshua. Is his mind. It's him. If anybody needed to see a sports psychiatrist, it's Joshua.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, because like I said, because it all came out because with the rent, he realized he needed to do better, and that's the reason why he was he started, when he's talking about the whole Rocky Marciano and he's 14 stone and
which is bullshit, because if you got all the breath and lung capacity to spit a goddamn Inspect the Deck verse after your fucking fight, then you should have had that fucking in your fight then.
Yeah, but then
fuck all this 15, 16 stone bullshit this nigga was on. That's waste man excuses. Waste man excuses.
And then, of course, it didn't help too because later on in the post fight, there are videos of this nigga cussing people out randomly. It had to be his cousin.
Oh yeah, when he's walking back.
Yeah, like that.
Keep
and then
it professional.
Yeah, and it's just and then he's crying at the post fight presser and shit like that.
That nigga going through it.
Yeah, he was mentally going through it, and it seemed like he didn't have a friend in Jesus, because it's someone should have took him away from all this fight before all.
Dude, man, people be wanting to see when you get at that moment in life. People be wanting to relish that, like you could tell Joshua don't have no real fucking friends around in his circle, son, because nobody a real friend would have had him doing this whole act he's been doing for his whole fucking career. They would have seen how it was causing turmoil in his soul and fucking with him, and there would have been an intervention or something. But people love kicking niggas when they down, so they fucking trotting them out for the whole display. Yeah, cause you right. Somebody should have put him took him to the side, and he shouldn't be out there like this.
Yeah, and that what was sad to me. I was like, yo, it was like, I mean, even Broner has people that pull him away when he starts getting out of line. Like this nigga doesn't.
Exactly.
And also one thing to mention too, and Sky Sports, Sky Sports, because Joshua left them, and so Sky Sports had the right. So this is pretty much should be the last Joshua fight that they do. They had made sure them cameras are on him. Like all the footage that's out there of this nigga losing his shit, it's because of them. They're recording it and they've been posting it. Which is
he was checking a 60. He checked the old man. Well, the old guy was talking shit. So he kind of deserved to get checked.
Yeah,
you see that?
It was that was fucked up.
But at least he checked them though. See, this is the thing. Like even then, he didn't fucking swing on the fucking old man.
Right.
But I ain't gonna get into all of that. I'm just saying
he was putting him in his place. That's all.
Yeah,
he should have. But that's some pussy shit. But.
No one saying you gotta. There's no law saying he can't say, "Hey, nigga, who you talking to?" Like, shut the fuck up. Like, nah. Like fighters are emotional. He just went through one of the most biggest moments in his life. He just dealt with so much pressure. Like, no one wants to be hearing slick talk, sarcasm, and all that shit. Like. Not saying he can't hear no tough love and shit, but there's a time and place for everything. Like,
right.
Everybody just dog piling on this nigga. Like, come on.
Yeah, like a nigga that just did that type of rant and you're talking shit to him as he's trying to get back to his dressing room or the presser or whatever the fuck. Yeah, of course he's gonna snap. And they won, and then the fucking cameras are on him because Sky Sports and the other they made sure they got that shit on camera because they knew what the fuck they was doing. Like, I mean,
because they're like, yo, man. We gonna get all the damn footage we can because we don't know ever what's gonna happen. So,
right, yeah, and the whole shit was sad too because at the end of the day, I mean, Joshua for what he's accomplished. I mean, Joshua accomplished a lot in his 20-something fights or whatever. Like, I mean, he's fought the best competition at heavyweight, which is not a thing that most heavyweights do. He's beaten good opponents. Like, he's held the belts twice. He unified and he held the belts twice. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, sometimes a fighter is just better than you. It happens. Like,
but honestly, I really don't even see it as Usyk. Like, he's just slightly better than him. Like, I don't see it as even as a boxer. Like, he just if Usyk's an A+, Joshua A-. Like, I don't see no night and day. Like.
I'm not saying there's
separation between.
Usyk just had his number, I mean, that's
it just happens. Yeah, sometimes a fighter just has your number. Just like Fury, like there's a bigger separation between Fury and Wilder because it's a huge one. But this one, it's slightly.
I mean, I think Fury beats Usyk, man.
I was gonna say. I'm not too mile on the horn. I was the lone person picking Usyk to win, but he's not unbeatable in the heavyweight division.
Yeah. So I'm not saying eventually Usyk because. The reason why, because I mean, obviously we talked about today's heavyweights are not the most technically sound. They all have big flaws. Usyk has flaws, but they're not big. Like because Usyk has so many layers to his fighting, whereas someone like a Joshua or a Wilder do not. Fury is like a unicorn in the ways because he's boxed since he was 5. So Fury, I don't like how he fights. I hate how Fury fights. I don't like Fury. But
all these dudes have flaws, and if to a point when you don't Fury have flaws, you just have bad tendencies or habits.
Yeah, and they're not corrected. So that's why it's just like, I mean, the heavyweights now is like I mean they all can punch. Like you're like as heavyweight, you're one punch away from being a champion, really. If we're being 100 about it, like, but they're flawed. Some of them are horribly flawed, or they're old. They're not flawed. They're just too old, like a Ortiz, who is Ortiz or something like that. Like they're just it's like a hodgepodge where where you see someone like Usyk, who's probably the closest thing you see to something. Usyk and Fury are the closest things you see to elite in that division, because it's like because Fury's just because he doesn't fight off because Fury has these weird breaks, but Usyk is like you can see Usyk is a road warrior. Like Usyk might be on pace to be boxing's best road warrior like of all time. Because he goes into people's backyards and he beats them. Like you can't. I mean. There's only been one fight I've ever said I didn't think Usyk won, and that was the Bradis fight. At best, it was a draw, or Bradis won slightly, but he wins. Like I can't, and he unifies. he conquers divisions, and he beat a top 3 heavyweight, twice. So I mean,
it's funny you say top 3 because everybody kept saying Joshua was like top 4. Niggas kept putting Wilder ahead.
At the end of the day,
I thought was weird though, because I thought Joshua.
I don't want to go into any of my Wilder rants because but I would say Wilder has probably double the amounts of fights that Joshua has, and has beaten less champions than Joshua, has beaten less champions than Hellenius, who he's facing next.
He scheduled to fight maybe his third best opponent.
Exactly. There's level now. It's just like hypotheticals. Can Wilder beat Usyk? Yes, it's possible. He'll one punch man, and he can easily the one punch can do it. But anything else?
Nah, that's Dan Jonas.
Yeah, I call. I mean, I don't want to use one trick pony, but yeah, if Wilder and his.
I mean, you said you said he's the heavyweight Randall Bailey. Just you called him a different 40 welterweight. I'm just correcting you.
Yeah. I called Wilder a whole bunch of jobbers. Whether it's a heavyweight jobber of yesteryear or Deontay Bailey. Yeah, I mean we all know that. Yeah,
it's a Deontay Bailey.
But it's just like, I hate when people delude themselves like, oh, well, if Wilder hits Usyk with one punch, that's it. Because you're not going to say Deontay Wilder can outbox him, outjab him, or better movement. No, you can't say any of these things.
But all it takes is one punch, and it wouldn't be a lucky one either.
But that's the thing, is like, I have a hard time. This is the same thing with the Fury, that Wilder, like, I have a hard time feeling like this is supposed to be someone who's supposed to be.
All I know is, look, if Wilder has Usyk is hurt as many times as damn Joshua did, Wilder's getting him out of there.
Exactly.
And you know how critical I be of Wilder.
And here's my thing, because I got into an argument with someone about this. Like, it's like, well, I just can't see, Wilder, touching Fury, and then Usyk can't do it. But I told him, like, hey, I didn't see fucking a drug addicted, candy addicted, 150 pound weight loss of a man, being able to go the distance and actually beat a prime active heavyweight champion with no medical issues. But it happened, so it's just like, and boxing, any given Saturday night, shit can happen. But it's just by looking at Usyk, because
that's the thing. It's like Joshua is skilled. It's more an application of the skill, because when it's like people try to make it seem like honestly Joshua's more skilled than Fury. Fury just savvy.
I think
he applies this shit different.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Fury, because Fury's been fighting since he was like 5, gypsies and shit like that. Like Fury, you can tell Fury has a solid.
But I thought Joshua was like a road man. I thought he's a big man in the street. No, I thought he busts his gun and jokes.
Oh,
so that's all I talk about. Yeah. So Joshua schoolboy. He said he didn't bust his gun. He wasn't top boy mate. So which one is it, man? Joshua wasn't fighting all his life. Come on, man.
Yeah, but he's not Fury. Fury's been fighting. It's documented with Fury. He has a foundation. A solid. And even though I don't like how he fights, it's there. And that's the reason why he took apart Wilder the way he did. And same thing with Usyk. Usyk, amateur, highly talented amateur, all this other shit. And then Usyk's fought dangerous fighters, although most people don't like to think he hasn't. He's fought a lot of dangerous fighters that can actually knock him out cold, but he doesn't. He hasn't been down as a pro either. That type of shit. So it's like, so it's just my optics. I have to give deference. Now with Usyk and Fury, I can see Fury can probably beat Usyk, just because simply not. It's Usyk. Usyk might be.
So that's just the next fight to see, really, Usyk and Fury.
Truthfully, I can see it. Look, I can see that fight being like Vitaly and Adamek in a way, because just the size is just too much. And Fury, unlike most, Fury can use his size and actually put his weight on you, which even with cats that are like 6'7" and shit like that, he does that too well. In fact, that's what pisses me off. So, but yeah, Usyk and Fury is now the fight, and it seems like now, because now Tyson Fury is now talking all types of trash. Like he called his fight rubbish and all shite and all this other stuff. Like he's been going off on that. Even though Fury White was probably one of the worst heavyweight fights I've seen in a while. Like that shit was also trash. If it wasn't for the knockout, this shit would be like big trash. But at least the energy is there. And unfortunately, like it's just a thing. I know for American fans that American America's where it needs to be. I know a lot of them are sick about Usyk Fury being for the undisputed championship, but it's like, hey, like what are you gonna do? It is what it is. That's how it's played out.
Put Wilder Joshua on the co-main.
Yeah, because hopefully this will be a documentary. Like, let this be a lesson to you. When you need to make the fights, when they need to happen, you do it. And Wilder was on there talking shit too. He was like, well, see, that's the whole reason why they wanted me in for the second fight, because they knew that he would get beat and blah, 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 blah. Even though he said himself that he rejected, he was the one that actually rejected the whole fucking deal to go fight Fury.
It was always his fault, and like real niggas seen it, but it's like the American bias. Just too many people just was standing Wilder to just see that he legit was the one who kind of ducked the fight.
Yeah, because he said the money was right and everything like that, but he's like, no, I'm just gonna go after Fury, and
yeah, because Fury was the easier fight. Like he was that first fight, and then after that it was over.
Yeah, it was. So like Wilder has himself to blame for that, but it's just like, hey, we wanted out of this round robin, we wanted the two best heavyweights for all the gold, and now there are no obstacles in the way.
Because honestly, like Wilder and Joshua was always more appealing than Fury Usyk.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Matter of fact, if you would have put Joshua or Wilder in any combination of those other two names, if you would have said all the marbles, Usyk Wilder, all the marbles, Usyk Joshua, Fury Wilder, or whatever, those names just mix up better. But
right,
Usyk Fury is just like
it doesn't have, unless you're in the Ukraine or you're a gypsy, it doesn't hit. I mean, or if you're a hardcore boxing fan, you know what it is, you gotta respect it. But if you're like a casual or even some advanced casuals, you're not gonna like it, off rip. And like I said, I mean, I respect Usyk Fury, but I don't like it because it's just like it shouldn't have gone to this. But it's just like
it is. I just because the style matchup, I'm not really anticipating. Like it's cool.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be surprised if this fight looks like Fury Klitschko or some other shit.
Or like I said, Klitschko Adamek or some shit like that. It's just, it's because it's
Cunningham Fury.
Yeah. But it's the fight it's the logical fight now, because there's no Mandos that they're gonna call it. In fact, they're not gonna call it, and I know they're already talking about trying to have this fight in December, which would be amazing.
Nigga, that's some super wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Like, how much things would have to go right for them to get this fight situated by December.
And on top of that, it's not going to be in America because, Fury has that shit going on, because, he's affiliated with some people who can't visit America. So, he's kind of shadow banned. So the fight's not going to be in America too, which also kind of hurts the appeal of this fight, to be honest. It's going to be.
I think if it's in the UK, which I think would be the best way, because I don't think I wouldn't put this in no Saudi Arabia or no.
You know what's funny too? I know Bob doesn't. Bob doesn't really care for the whole Saudi Arabia thing, so that might be a thing. Although I think it was mentioned that Saudi Arabia was interested.
Of course.
Yeah, because they'll pay out the ass for that fight. Which is what talks in the end. But yeah, if it's in the UK, they'll probably, I guess, that's like the second thing. But that should probably be in America. But like I said, Fury's kind of.
It's UK because ain't like Usyk some big star in America. Like the fuck out of here.
No, he's absolutely not.
The only place you can put that shit is the UK or America.
Yeah, so and then Ukraine is going through a war, so they're not going to put a big fight in there. Yeah. So I mean, it like I said, it is sometimes that's just the way that's the way something's play out. Like sometimes the two best fighters, they rise to the top, and we get what we get. So I can't say the fight needs to happen, and I'd like to see an undisputed champion. Am I excited about it? Not really. I mean, it is what it is. Like You know, that's the way the cookie crumbles, man. You know, and you just hope that, and like I said, obviously with Fury, you know, you just hope that Fury, you know, gets his, you know, actually does it instead of starts talking whatever random shit that's going on in his mind every 10 minutes or so. He actually signs it and they actually do it, you know, and then go on it. But with Joshua now, Joshua now is at the point where all his fights, it's been a minute since he's actually been in a non-heavyweight title fight. It's been years. It's been at least probably 5 years, give or take, 5 or 6 years. So he's gonna have to rebuild, you know, and yeah, it's gonna be rough because considering that now he signed that big contract with dazn. So, you know, and Josh was talking about he wants to be back in November or December. I mean, truthfully, that's good mentality, but you know, yeah, right now he's kind of like he's a question mark right now. I have to put him as one because you just don't know.
Man, Joshua, look, man. As soon as Joshua went to the whole fighting twice a year, like his career, like Joshua needs to be fighting 3-4 times a year. Like he's Hollywood for like no reason. Like he's not gonna just be getting and improving. Like the 18 stone shit. Nah, I don't believe it. Like you need to fight more often.
He does, yeah. Because before Dude, he was good for 3 fights a year, like at one time, like, and then it just all of a sudden it's just this weird every 8 months fight he was fighting. Like, nah, it's like
at this point, I wouldn't care if he fought Chisora in December.
Well, I know that I think one of the fights they mentioned is fighting Dillian White again, which. I mean, it will probably be a good
Lord.
Wow, that's worse. Honestly, that's worse than the Chisora fight.
And, well, Chisora wants to fight Zhang, and you know, and that's because the money that's probably involved.
And you know what? That's not even a bad fight.
It isn't good, but it's like.
But I don't know. I guess I know Chisora. He deserves his paydays, but it's like I don't want to see dude brain turn to slush or some shit.
Yeah, but it's true because he's not any closer for a heavyweight fight. You know, I know Fury,
but at least he's coming off a win though. It's like Dillian White. Yeah, you got knocked out in a one-sided, boring ass fight that you couldn't even hype up.
Right,
exactly. We're almost forgetting that Tyson Fury fought this year. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah, because he satisfied his manual and everything, which is crazy. So yeah, I mean Joshua. I mean there are fighters out there that will fight him. Like Joshua will never lack for anyone that actually wants to fight him.
Because what the hell does he do all year? He only fight twice a year. Like
yeah, AJ's a proven international draw, you know. So it's not like he's back of the line, but he definitely got to build himself back up again, you know.
He don't even have, just fight more. Like dude, I'd be just fighting all over the world at this point, becoming like an international global attraction. Like. If I was him, I'd be fighting on each continent.
I mean, honestly, he needs to fight. He needs to go back to America. Look, if you want to go back to America,
don't come back here and lose. You better go. America's like up here, bro. Like you losing in your own country, you losing in Saudi Arabia. No, don't let America be the stepping stone. You would have beat somebody in Africa or Germany or someplace.
I mean, like I said, I feel like even though I'm not American centric like that when it comes to boxing, I do believe he needs to at least he
needs to. It just don't need to be his next fight. Like he need to get him a win first. Don't let America. Don't let America be the extra type of pressure to fight over here and win over here. No, get you a win somewhere else. And then come here and it's only, okay, I got to win in America. Not, I got to put my whole career back on track. And I got to win in America. Like, nah, you don't need all of that. I mean, because people going to look at it like, damn, if he fight in America, he can't fight a complete jobber. He got to fight someone decent to where it's like,
because it's
he kind of avenged it.
Yeah, because I'll say, one of the biggest things, they still want to set up a Joshua Wilder fight, and figured like you must what, but what better way to do it, but fighting on America still, because like, because either if whoever.
I still watch that fight, but I just don't really care no more.
Yeah, that's true because it's like there's no stakes, there's no high stakes like.
It's like I'd rather see like different. I still rather see Wilder Ruiz. I'd rather see Joyce Joshua. I'd rather see Wilder Joyce or Joyce Ruiz. And even Dubois and Wilder and.
Yeah,
and just different matchups like Wilder Joshua. That shit is like Gamboa Wanma. Like
Oh my God.
I mean,
it is.
Yeah, it's still doable, but
it's still doable.
But the stakes have to be higher.
Do I give a fuckable? Do I careable? Think about it.
That fight, I was just saying, don't bring up that fight. It burns still.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of Bob's biggest mistakes in the last 20 years or so. Probably it might be one of the biggest ever. I never mind 20 years.
Damn.
But yeah, it like I said. I mean, Joshua, like I said, Joshua's he's 32 or something like that. So it's not like he's still in his prime. But I know the window for him improving the way he needs to do, like it's closing because, like I said, his physical gifts are not going to last. Budgets are, but the physical gifts are not going to last forever. They don't.
Not when you're fighting twice a year.
Yeah,
every 8 months, 6 months.
You gotta fight. You gotta fight more. You gotta fight 4 months at least. Every 3. You gotta fight. Period. Typically with Wilder, like when Wilder comes back, like if he beats Hellenius, he should be fighting again by the beginning of next year, or something like that. Depending how quick the fight is, if it is quick. You gotta fight more. Because I mean Wilder's on the tail end of his prime. Joshua's in his, but you can't. You just gotta fight more. You gotta, if you're not fighting more, then you're not gonna improve. You're not gonna be where you need to be, especially when you find someone who's hungry. So it's the heavyweights is the whole thing. But like I said again, I'll put respect on Usyk's name. Usyk did what he had to do. He has Joshua's number. He's the unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's clearly one of the top 2 or 3 fighters in the world. He's depending on who you want to put above him. But he is that dude. He is legit. And like I said, he's on his way. I mean, he's gonna punch his way to the Hall of Fame pretty soon, whether or not if he's not already there. If he's not Hall of Fame bound now, you gotta put respect on him.
Who Usyk? People say he's already Hall of Famer and the greatest cruiserweight ever. So
I mean, if his career ended today, he's probably going in the Hall of Fame. But if you want to really solidify him,
yeah.
I ain't gonna call this nigga the greatest
cruiserweight ever. I mean, Evan Fields is still alive. So don't ever say.
I'm saying I've heard it, not me. I'm just saying I heard that from a lot of people.
Well, a lot of people are fucking stupid. Sorry, no.
Damn, Holyfield's still alive. Like the fuck?
Yeah. I said Evan Fields is still alive.
I'm just like, hold on, like how the fuck? Like I just don't get it. Like,
but I mean, I've heard that before. That people say that about Usyk.
I've literally never heard
of it. Really? No, dude, it's on Twitter. Like people been saying Usyk's the greatest cruiserweight. Yeah, I'm just like. How? Like
if he's the greatest cruiserweight, or I mean, if he's the greatest cruiserweight since Holyfield, that's another thing.
I'll give you that, of course. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, no, there's this David Hay guy. No,
there's Bellew.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say no shit like that. But if you're saying ever, like, imagine what Holyfield would have did to this Joshua.
Yeah, I mean,
tore him up.
Like the biggest differences between those two is Holyfield won his belt in his 11th fight against another all-time great in probably one of the most brutal fights you'll ever see. So it's like, that's different. Like it's and now I'm not saying that Usyk hasn't. Usyk won his in an elite tournament. But but you could do something that's great, and then somebody could just do something that was just greater. Yeah.
And exactly. I think that's just what it is, man. It's like how we look at the whole Reasonable Doubt in the DMX album, the Dark and Hell is Hot. Like, there's people who put them as both classics, but when you break it down and you look at it, It's just that DMX album. It's a classic on a whole nother tier.
Yeah, it hit more.
Yeah, just every song like was classic. This is crazy, and it's like that's with Holyfield. You're just looking at it like, okay, you know, you fought an all-time great in an all-time great fight. At 11 fights, then you had a rematch. This is it. Then you go to heavyweight. It's like it's just greater. God damn, it's just greater. Like,
yeah, I mean,
Usyk would have had to KO Joshua for me to be like, like okay, because it's knockouts for life.
Yeah. I mean, now granted, he is decisively beating it, but I mean, obviously. You know, I mean, now that he's
but just a KO sounds better to be making that statement from, especially when the other guy didn't get the KO. Like, so are you gonna do something better? Like,
right? Yeah, because I mean, as of right now, Usyk only has one heavyweight KO to date. You know, and that's fine. You know, it is what it is. Now
it's fine, but it's not fine when you got dudes saying you better than Holyfield.
Holyfield KO'd people in both divisions. Some brutally. So it's like, yeah. So I mean, Usyk is 35. So who knows how much time he has? But yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, there are a lot of big heavyweights he can KO, or he could attempt to KO. I should say. You just gotta see him do it. You know, whether it's Joyce, who he's beaten before in that World Series of boxing shit, or it's Wilder. Or if it's Fury, I mean, I think he needs to. If he bodies at least one of them, then you can say, okay, that's cool. Like that's good. It's, especially the ones that still have their zeros. So it's like, yeah, you just gotta do it. But I put respect on his name. I mean, I was not an Usyk believer when he was a cruiserweight. I didn't believe in him. I thought he was kind of overrated. But like I said, he has the victories. He's proved it. I can't really say anything more. I can't say anything against him other than, like I said, yeah, Usyk Fury, that's what we're getting. That's the undisputed shit now. But yeah, just that fight alone, yeah, it was just so much to unpack and unwrap from all that shit. Because yeah, it's just like that's got. I mean, because yeah, I mean heavyweights. I mean heavyweights go like that's how division's gonna move. Now you just gotta hope it. Now you just gotta hope it doesn't like stall out because of some bullshit. But yeah, it remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean that fight alone is just like, yeah. Even right now, it's being debated right now. It's like there's so much conversation about it. Joshua issued an official apology over it. Usyk's talking about, yeah, if I don't face Fury, I might retire. Or there's a lot of random shit going around. It's heavyweights are weird.
These weirdos need to just get in the fucking ring already. God
yeah.
Damn it. And another thing. Maybe this was a UK thing, but it was kind of fucking annoying me. Oh, well, Joshua did a great job, and all this participation trophy shit was getting on my fucking nerve. Yes, he did better in this fight than he did in the last fight, but he still fucking lost. So cut the bullshit out with the fucking participation trophy. Oh, well, and he deserves credit.
He
just basically won more. He won just one more round than last fight. Last fight was 116, 112. This fight was 115, 113.
And the funny thing is too, on the cards, if Joshua had won the last 2 rounds, he would have won the split decision or some shit like that. So it was there for him. He kept buzzing, dude.
He's not explosive.
It was there for him to win. This first fight, he got took apart. Second fight, he needed to summon up something to win those last 2 rounds. He would have regained his belts, and no one would have batted an eye and say that it was because Eddie was definitely looking to make sure that he would win if we needed to. But yeah, you couldn't give it to him like that. So yeah.
Eddie going through it, man. Canelo lost, Joshua lost this year.
White lost. Yeah, White. Yeah, both his fighters lost to the two best heavies in the boxing today. I tell
you what, man. He's gonna be like devastated when Katie Taylor loses.
Eventually, yeah, that's gonna be coming. I mean, because Katie's
That's definitely coming. But yeah, like she's the only one that he could still keep undefeated. Everybody else, nope.
Right. Oh, and yeah, salute Henny God. I see you tapped in, bro.
Salute Henny
You're
God.
gonna have to definitely hear us, talk our shit, on the whole Usyk Joshua situation, man. Because I think we just went up like an hour and a half on this because there's so much to unpack on this, man. But,
that was a great WWE promo by Femi, that's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, some funny thing is like some of them boxers cut better promos than wrestlers themselves today. That's actually pretty sad.
No, the boxers grew up watching the wrestlers instead of the fucking boxers. That's why they better. They talk better. They talk as better wrestlers than they box. Yeah, so it's like damn.
Yeah, it's fucking. And truthfully, that one day though, that might need to be a topic, whether we do it here or I know King P, because I know me, King P, watched wrestling and shit like that. We might need to talk about banter. We might need to talk about the whole wrestling and boxing.
We might have to talk about that
because there's a lot, but it's just weird how boxers can cut better when needed. They can cut better promos than actual wrestlers, but yeah, it's just like
the punches got something to do with it, man. It's just a good fade to just readjust your outlook on life. And you don't get angry or you happy and you cut a promo.
Facts, all facts. And so yeah, man. I think we cut a lot. We talked about Usyk Joshua a lot. So there are a couple other things that we need to talk about.
Preview.
What's that?
Preview.
The preview.
Yes, again, because some of us are gonna have to leave.
Oh yeah. Like... So yeah, we'll do the You're absolutely right. So yeah, preview time. So luckily next weekend, after all this boxing that we watched, which I mean. Luckily, it wasn't tiring because all the boxing. And then just to let you know, we will talk about the Dominican PBC card, hopefully tomorrow. We're trying to get our friend Broadway Joel on here, because there's some things that need to be talked about on too. In fact, I'm itching to talk about it with him.
You're just itching to talk about it because you want to get back because he got you back as a guest.
You got damn right.
Oh, no, I'm checking out the
you talking about Ramadan?
Yeah, well, I don't want to go into that now because I was
the poll agreeing with you though. I'll say that.
Yeah, because I texted this nigga. I was outraged because I texted this nigga LB this morning about how outraged I was by that. So
I just know I was like, I called a certain fight like super fucking accurate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But yeah, no. But hopefully, our friend Broadway Joel will, join us tomorrow for that. But the top rank card, funny thing, low key, the top rank. Actually, no. Excuse me. I'll go into that later. The preview.